she found herself in a quiet corner of a foreign town. The room felt temporary, but also deeply personal. A travel vlogger who had seen too many airports and hotel lobbies. Today, she was a willing captive to the weather. The world outside was gray, a symphony of muted tones. The sky looked like a painter had run out of color. And the air? It was thick with the promise of more rain. For a creator whose life was usually a whirlwind of movement, this forced stillness was a gift. She sat by the window, the cool glass pressed against her cheek. She wasn't watching for the rain to stop. She was reveling in it. The sound was a meditation. Rhythmic drumming on the rooftop. It washed away the digital noise and travel fatigue. It was comfortable. So comfortable. It was the kind of peace that couldn't be scheduled. A natural pause button on her relentless journey. This was the content that didn't always make the final cut. The quiet moments. The contemplation. The simple joy of doing absolutely nothing. She thought about how to describe this to her audience. How to explain that being stuck indoors could feel like winning the lottery. It wasn't just about staying dry. It was a feeling of being exactly where she was supposed to be. Even if that place had questionable Wi-Fi, the rain had a personality. It started shy, a hesitant patter, like tiny fingers tapping on the glass. Then it grew confident, a steady pounding drum, a cleansing roar that demanded attention. The green leaves turned vibrant and glossy. This, she thought, was the planet's own music. For a vlogger who spent her days capturing the world, this was pure reception. No framing, no angles, just listening. The comfortable sound wrapped the apartment in isolation. It was the perfect excuse to do nothing. She closed her eyes. The sound filled her senses. This was the unseen side of her dream job. Just the profound peace of a stolen moment. A gift from a crying sky. And honestly, she needed it. Then, gradually, the symphony began to fade. Then a sliver of light appeared. The world outside slowly re-emerged. The wet streets began to gleam. The last few drops fell. A bird chirped. Tentative, questioning. Another answered. From her vantage point, she saw a new world. The forced pause was over. The world was open again. The transition from gray to shimmering light was a spectacle. She felt the vlogger's instinct kick in. Capture this. Frame it. Post it. But she resisted. Just a moment longer. She wanted to absorb it for herself first. The stillness that had been a comfort now felt like a prompt. Time to move. The world was calling. But before she answered, she felt a different craving. It wasn't hunger. It was a ceremony. Her followers would love this. The vlogger who found adventure not just in mountains, but in crafting a treat in a tiny kitchen. It was a story about finding home anywhere. This would be a point of sweetness. She stretched her limbs. The kitchen was small, a travel vlogger's puzzle. Her dessert would be simple, elegant. The process would matter as much as the result. Washing, slicing, arranging. Mindful acts. A small performance of self-care. The kitchen became her studio. Her stage was set. She laid out her tools, the board, the knife, the bowls. The decision to make dessert had transformed her. From passive observer to active participant, the process was slow, deliberate, no rush. That soft post-rain glow. She imagined the shots, close-ups of her hands, the gleam of the knife, the vibrant colors of the ingredients. These weren't just grapes, they were a treasure. Her movements were gentle, reverent. The grapes were magnificent, large and round. A pale, translucent green. She held one up to the light. The plan was a simple parfait, layered, showcasing the grapes, not hiding them. She found Greek yogurt, thick and creamy. She assembled it in a clear glass. A spoonful of yogurt went in first. Then she sliced some grapes in half. then a generous topping of whole grapes. She stepped back. She admired her work. Simple, yet art. This little glass was more than a snack. It was a story. With her masterpiece complete, she felt a pull to move. The apartment had a small balcony. She opened the glass door, and the street below? It was teeming with life. She settled into the small chair. Parfait inouï. She felt like a queen on her throne. As a travel vlogger, she was a professional people watcher. She had one more indulgence. She took the first spoonful. Cold, creamy. Then the grape burst. Perfect. She closed her eyes. A genuine smile spread across her face. She took a sip of wine. A happy accident. Slowly, mindfully, making it last. This was a story she couldn't wait to share. The sun dipped lower. She finished the last bite. The parfait was gone, but the feeling remained. For a travel vlogger dedicated to the remarkable, she knew this quiet afternoon was one of the most remarkable experiences. You've officially survived a rainy afternoon with her. If you enjoyed this little escape, she'd be thrilled, though she'd never admit it. So doer a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to see what else she whips up in foreign kitchens. But she can promise good food, questionable decisions, and at least one moment of pure, unscripted joy.